Hey, this is John from Alloy 211. Today's video is on the SIG 365 semi-automatic striker fired double stack 9mm micro compact 2018 Guns and Ammo handgun of the year SIG pistol. What's really impressive about this gun is how tiny it is for a 10 round double stack 9mm pistol. It's not an optical illusion. This gun is smaller than my hand. I mean, it is very small. Go ahead and bring my 26, which I carry regularly, into frame. And granted, that way, you know, it doesn't look, let's get a little wider here so we can get a bit better perspective. But that way, you know, it doesn't look that much smaller. It's a little smaller. But when you look at the width of the two, it becomes a lot more apparent. The SIG is only 1 inch wide compared to the Glock, which is 1 1/8 inch, I believe. And it definitely, the Glock feels, well, as many people say, the block a lot chunkier in your hand than the SIG, even though they are both a pretty squared off sort of affair. But a couple of the other vital statistics about the SIG 365. It holds 10 to 12 rounds depending on the magazine. It's rated for plus P ammunition. The slide is stainless steel nitrate finish, polymer frame. Barrel is 3 1/8 inches long. Overall length is 5.8 inches long. As I said, the overall width is 1 inch. Height is 4.3 inches and the weight is 17.8 ounces. Now, I've not gotten to shoot this firearm. One of my friends recently purchased it and he hasn't even gotten to shoot it yet, but he plans to do a bit of torture testing with it once he does begin to shoot it. So he said, well, before I do that, why don't you go ahead and do a video on it and take a look at it, and then he'll shoot it and we'll see how it looks afterwards. Now, as I said, this is actually quite a bit thinner than the Glock and slightly shorter, and it still has basically the same capacity. Now, that's from the very heel of the gun lined up, and then the muzzle, as you can see, is slightly set back. Then if you hold the two beside each other and you put the front of the breech to the front of the breech, you can see that the SIG is just slightly shorter there as well. So it is a smaller gun, a much smaller gun. Another thing I want to point out, and it's actually something that in holding the gun I'm not sure if I like about it, is it feels like it actually has a pretty high bore axis. It actually feels like it rides a little higher than what I'm used to, but that could also just be because the Glock does, if you look, have a slightly lower bore axis. You know, it's not going to sit quite as high up in your hand as this does. But, you know, it's a polymer pistol, and once you put the magazine in and it's loaded, I'm sure that's going to balance out. As for the magazine, it's a really interesting design if you look at it. If you look at it from the back, it looks very similar to other SIG magazines. This is a SIG P229 magazine. But if you look at it from the front, whereas you can see the 229 magazine continues in a double column up to about here, you actually have this narrowing into a single stack for, I'll say, 2 or 3 rounds right here, ahead of getting fed into the gun. And that's a really interesting design, and it's not something I've seen before. So I thought that was pretty cool. I also thought it was really kind of cute. This really does look just like a small SIG magazine, especially given how small this gun is. It's kind of interesting that, I mean, that magazine almost fits in there. So, almost, it doesn't though, so don't do that. Anyway, you have 2 different magazines that it comes with. You have one with a flat bottom, and you have one with a grip, which is helpful. Magazine release is this triangular shaped button. It's very nice, very easy to access. It is ambidextrous, well, you can reverse it, I believe. The gun disassembles pretty much like any other SIG. You have a disassembly lever up here, lock slide back, flip assembly lever down, and it comes apart just that easily, just like a big SIG, just like a big SIG. Here you can see the sear, and here's your striker. Now, they did have early teething problems with the firing pins and I believe the trigger reset pin, but from everything that I read, those problems have been addressed by June 2018, so those aren't really an issue. One of the kind of issues I have with it, it's not really an issue, but it is a concern to me, is the only safety you really have on this pistol is this firing pin plunger safety right here. There really aren't any other safeties on this. And I say this as someone that I honestly don't care for safeties on my firearm that much, but given the striker's held back at 100% and that's all there is, I think it's highly improbable that something could happen where this would cause a problem, but it's possible. But I trust people at SIG know what they're doing and do a lot of testing. So unless that actually became an apparent problem, then I'll just assume that it is probably good. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the recoil spring, which is a double recoil spring. Very similar to what you find on the Glock, actually. Let's go ahead and pull another gun apart on the table. Luckily, these parts are so different, I don't have to worry about getting them confused. Uh-oh. Okay, well maybe I do have to worry about getting one part confused. Well, not really, because this is quite a bit bigger in diameter. This is the Glock recoil spring out of the Glock 26, which when I was preparing to do this video and I was taking a look at this, I was actually really impressed with this recoil spring because I've never changed this. I've put probably 6,000 rounds through that gun and it's still in amazingly good shape. So kudos to the Glock on that one. But I'd imagine the SIG spring will handle it just as well. So that is your spring. I'll go ahead and pull the barrel out. Looks like a little baby barrel. Little baby barrel. There you go. Now it does have a loaded chamber indicator right here, which this is about the only kind of loaded chamber indicator I like because there's no mechanical system involved. And this is a dummy round. So anyway, like that. And the reason why I like this kind of loaded chamber indicator is because there's no mechanical anything to get bound or to cause any sort of problem. I mean, I'm not really that big on loaded chamber indicators, but still, if you're going to have one, I think that's the way to do it. So let's go ahead and put this thing back together. It goes back together just like pretty much any other Browning derived semi-automatic pistol. Just take and slide the slide. Oh, I want to point this out too because I really do like this. It has these full frame rails. And I really do like that because one of my, I don't want to say annoyances with the Glock, but I really don't care for just having, you know, a frame rail here and there. I think it really does allow a lot of movement in the slide. So, but I really can't say anything bad about the Glock either because again, I've put 5,000 or 6,000 rounds through it without any sort of problems. So, you know, it's hard to complain about it when it's really caused you no problems. So anyway, just slide the slide back on, flip the lever. Oh, how about I lock the slide back and then the lever just goes right into place. Sometimes. While we're here, let's take a look at the sights, if I can get them up there. It comes with the X-Rays 3 day and night sights, which are actually really, really nice. I'm really impressed with them on such a small gun. I don't think I'm going to be able to get that to focus into any sort of sight picture. Really is looking like not. Kind of. You can kind of get the idea. Maybe. See, I put my other hand there to get it steady. Oh, almost had it, almost had it. There we go. Kind of. Anyway, they're really nice sights, especially on such a small gun. So overall, in handling it, oh, and it has the forward cocking serrations, so if you want to do a press check, you don't have to worry about muzzling your finger. You don't ever want to muzzle your finger. Always leave it off the leash, so never muzzle it. Anyway, overall, it's a really neat, small, compact gun. I honestly can't wait to shoot to see how it handles, given that it's a 9mm. It's a very small gun. Other than that safety issue, I mean, it's not really a big issue. I do kind of see that it could cause maybe a problem in a certain sort of, you know, improbable sort of like, okay, let's say you're carrying chambered, an appendix carry, and you fall off the subway platform and you manage not to land on the third rail, but when you hit the ground, the gun hits just right and it goes off into your leg and you can't get up and the subway runs you over. I mean, I guess I could see then maybe the safety thing being a problem, but I really don't think unless you were to drop this gun in a very specific manner and that firing pin plunger safety was somehow jammed up inside, it would go off. So like I said, that's the only thing that kind of makes me leery, because the striker is at 100% and it's just held by that. But in the same stroke, the chances of anything actually happening are pretty improbable. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, I'd really appreciate if you gave it a like. If you watch some of my other videos and you enjoy those too, I'd really appreciate if you subscribed. So thanks and have a great day.